Welcome to lesson 37. We're going to be looking at subjunctives of doubt today. Now, subjunctives are particularly difficult, and part of the reason why they're so difficult is because they barely don't exist in English. So much so that most English speakers aren't even aware of what a subjunctive is. They're so prevalent in Spanish, so we have to look case by case at why English doesn't have subjunctives and when it very rarely does have a subjunctive. So in lesson 36 we saw that there are three uses for subjunctives: influence, doubt, and emotion. And we looked at the subjunctives of influence, and we saw that you use an infinitive in English where the subjunctive of influence is used in Spanish. Today we're going to look at the second use, which is doubt. So we have three cases. So you have case number one, which is going to be used the future tense. You're not going to see the subjunctive. You're going to have case number two and then case number three. So we'll look at these one by one. So case number one verb expressing doubt over a second verb. Okay, so doubt subjunctives generally use the future tense for the second verb. The conjunction that can be dropped as it is understood. That means no subjunctive. So basically what we're saying here is that you're not going to see the subjunctive. Instead of the subjunctive on the second verb, you're going to see the future tense, as you can see here. The other thing that we're saying here is that the conjunction that can get dropped out. Now, why can it get dropped out? We've seen this before, but we haven't really looked closely at it. The reason why the conjunction that can get dropped out is because when you have a new subject and a new verb, new sentence, the that subordinating conjunction is understood, much like the sujeto tácito in Spanish is understood from the ending on the verb. So when you run across a new subject, new verb, it's understood that a subordinating conjunction should go there, and the only one that can be omitted and is understood unconsciously is that. So let's look at our sentences, okay? 1. I doubt that you will become a professional unless you apply yourself more. I doubt that you will become a professional unless you apply yourself more. So this is translated: dudo que llegues a ser un profesional a menos que te apliques más. So we have actually in Spanish two subjunctives, llegues and then apliques. Ahora, so we'll look at unless later, so don't worry about unless. But what we're looking at here is doubt expressed over this. So you can see in English we don't have a subjunctive. We have a future tense here. So literally translated, dudo que llegarás a ser profesional. So that sounds strange in Spanish, but that's what it is written in English, and that is correct. So most of the time, with the subjunctives of doubt, you're going to use the future tense. Let's look at number 2. I don't think General Rios Montt will win the next election. I don't think General Rios Montt will win the next election. So, no pienso que, there's el que es sobreentendido porque tenemos nuevo sujeto y nuevo verbo. Entonces se sobreentiende la conjunción subordinadora that or que. Okay, so en español, no pienso que el general Rios Montt gane la siguiente elección. Gane is subjunctive in Spanish, but in English we're going to use will win because it's the future tense. Okay, number 3. It is hard to believe that this translation of the Bible will be popular. Okay? Es difícil creer que esta traducción de la Biblia sea popular. En español, el subjuntivo sea, pero aquí vemos que en inglés usa será. Entonces se oye, es difícil creer que esta traducción de la Biblia será popular. Está mal dicho en español. La razón por la cual que en inglés usamos el futuro para estos subjuntivos de duda, la mayoría. Okay, number 4. It seems possible that you all will go on to graduate from the university. It seems possible that you will all go on to graduate from the university. Okay, parece posible que todos ustedes sigan adelante hasta graduarse o para graduarse de la universidad. Alright, so sigan sería el subjuntivo, pero vean que en inglés es seguirán adelante, future tense. So that's the majority of the subjunctives of doubt, but let's look at case 2, which is tal vez and quizás, okay? So tal vez is an adverb, okay, and quizás is an adverb, and in English you're going to use a verb to communicate the same sense. May is not an adverb. May is a verb, and it communicates the sense of these adverbs. So it's the closest we get. Number 5, I may go to church tonight. I may go to church tonight. Yo tal vez vaya a la iglesia esta noche. Okay, so may is the it's a subjunctive, and it corresponds to tal vez. Number 6, you may get this job. You may get this job. Tal vez consigas este trabajo. Now, may is also translated pueda. So the other translation would be puede ser que yo vaya a la iglesia hoy en la noche. And number 6, puede ser que consigas ese trabajo. So that's another translation that's legitimate for may. All right, let's look at 7. He may be transferred to the Singapore office. He may be transferred to the Singapore office. So I'm going to translate this my favorite way, and that is tal vez sea transferido a la oficina de Singapur. All right, good. Number 8, we may visit Africa this year. We may visit Africa this year. So I'm going to let you translate the rest of them because I've already shown you how to do it. Number 9, the terrorists may strike the embassy this month. The terrorists may strike the embassy this month. So I'm going to let you translate that. I hope you know how to do it. And now number 10 is particularly difficult, so I've already put the translation right here. It may be that God will change his heart. It may be that God will change his heart. So the only thing I could say is that for this translation, it might be better to say pueda instead of puede. Pueda ser. So that's up to you. That's option open to you. Okay, so let's look at case 3, okay? So case 3 is with might. Now might is almost the same thing as may, but it's more doubt. So instead of may being pueda, we're going to translate it podría. Okay, so it says here, might works just like may. It implies more doubt and can be translated with the conditional tense, usually podría of Spanish. Okay, so number 11, you might just like the Dora school. You might just like the Dora school. So I've already translated that for you. Oops, tal vez should be 2 words, so you'll have to fix that. Number 12, he might repent soon. He might repent soon. So that would be translated podría arrepentirse pronto. All right. 13. If you seek Jesus, your husband just might change for the better. If you seek Jesus, your husband just might change for the better. So, si buscas a Jesús, tu esposo tal vez podría cambiar para el mejor. All right, something like that. Number 14. We might become missionaries to Asia. We might become missionaries to Asia. Okay? So I'll let you translate that. Number 15. Don't give kids coffee because they might act up. Don't give kids coffee because they might act up. So I'm going to translate this. This is a negative command, right? It doesn't have a subject. So, no des a los niños café porque pueden portarse mal or ponerse eléctricos. Esa es la idea. All right, number 16. It might be that the war comes to an end this week. It might be that the war comes to an end this week. So I've already translated that for you. And now we're comparing sentence 16 with sentence 10. So you have it may be, which is going to be translated puede ser, and then it might be, which is going to be translated Podría ser. So what's the difference? Just a little bit more doubt in the second one. That's all. All right, let's look at our vocabulary. Vocabulary 37. So we have 22 words and phrases, and the total to date is 620 words. So act up, act up. So acting up is kind of more sense of llamarse la atención, but it's portarse mal. Election, election. So this is not, I've put on here that this is una campaña electoral. No es una decisión. That would be a choice or a decision. Embassy, embassy. Even, even. Imply, imply, implied, implied. Kid, kid. May. So it's translated here an adverb, but you see that it is actually a verb form. Missionary, missionary. Month, month. Next, next. Office, office. Professional, professional. Repent, repent. Repented, repented. Second, second. Seek, seek. Sought, sought. Soon, soon. Strike, strike. Past tense. Struck, struck. Transfer, transfer. Transferred, transferred. So why is the R here twice, right? Well, we have consonant, vowel, consonant, and it's also a tonic syllable. Transfer, transferred. Okay, unless, unless. Good. Let's move over here. Usual, usual. Visit, visited. War. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, 37, and so we have, I think, 1 or 2 more lessons with subjunctives, and we're done with subjunctives. And just keep going forward. Don't get discouraged or stuck with subjunctives. Like I said, they're so infrequent in English that we really don't need to study them too much. The reason why we study them is because they're so frequent in Spanish. The Spanish speaker is going to be like, wait, this is a subjunctive. How do I do it in English? So we have to look at it. Here's what I recommend you do. Okay, I recommend that you write these rules down, and as you're using English, consult the rules. But like I said, don't get frustrated if you don't get every single case, every single usage, why this, why that, because it gets kind of complicated. Just keep going forward with English, because at the end of the day, subjunctives are very infrequent. If you make a mistake with a subjunctive, it's not going to be a big deal, because it's not all the time that you're going to be running across them. So we'll see you in lesson 38.